When I was in Cuba seeking medical help, my lawyers told the court there was a judge that demanded that I come to court.
Jacob Zuma, emboldened and seeking more victories in South Africa's courts. Emergency drop-off zones for an unprecedented number of unwanted animals. And an Israeli strike in Gaza kills children and grandchildren of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
This is Eyewitness News.
Embracing the court system of late, former President Jacob Zuma has made a brief appearance in the Johannesburg High Court for his private prosecution bid against President Cyril Ramaphosa. Zuma accused the president of being an accessory after the fact in his matter involving state advocate Billy Downer and journalist Karen Maughan. In 2022, the former president instituted private prosecution against Downer and Maughan over the sharing of public court documents which contained his sick note. Private prosecution bid has been postponed.
In yet another visit to the Johannesburg High Court, this time for his private prosecution battle against President Cyril Ramaphosa, former President Jacob Zuma has accused the courts of being biased.
When I was in Cuba seeking medical help, my lawyers told the court there was a judge that demanded that I come to court.
He suggested that the courts favor Ramaphosa.
Even when money is found in his sofas, he does not come to court once.
Zuma's private prosecution bid will return to court in August. Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
And now to news making international headlines. Former NFL football star O.J. Simpson has died. It's understood he succumbed to his long-drawn battle with cancer, and at the time of his death, he was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. His trial on charges that he murdered his ex-wife, Nicole Brown, and her friend Ronald Goldman in 1995 is considered to be one of the most celebrated criminal trials in American history. A jury spent only 3 hours deliberating on the case and acquitted the NFL player.
I'd just like to get back to my family and friends, and believe it or not, I do have some real friends.
3 of Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh's sons and 4 of his grandchildren have been killed in an Israeli strike in Gaza. Israel has confirmed the strike. Haniyeh is quoted saying that the death of his sons won't influence truce talks in the area. US President Joe Biden said Hamas, quote, needs to move, unquote, on the latest truce proposal, and that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu must agree to a truce, increase the amount of aid flowing into the besieged Gaza Strip, and abandon plans to invade the southern city of Rafah. A quick update on the aftermath of this week's extreme weather and flooding in the Western Cape. Gift of the Givers has received calls for assistance from the Oudtshoorn Municipality and Canaland Municipality to assist 400 families there. They've also been attending to people cut off in Gamkas, Kloof and Fontaineplaas.
It's going to probably be a matter of weeks before people can get to them. Some people has been evacuated already, overseas tourists and so forth, by ways of AMS helicopters.
Sharing a moment in a place of overwhelming tragedy, President Cyril Ramaphosa and his Botswana counterpart, Mokgweetsi Masisi, have visited the crash site in Limpopo where 45 people lost their lives in a horrific accident over the Easter weekend. An investigation into the tragic accident is still underway, with some of the bodies of the victims burnt beyond recognition. The sole survivor of the crash, an 8-year-old, returned to Botswana last week, and the process to repatriate the bodies of the deceased is yet to begin. A breakthrough that hopefully will alleviate the dire service delivery situation in Ekurhuleni.
Tension and suspense escalated for much of the morning as last-minute negotiations unfolded behind closed doors. Though Dr. Kagaza's name was already in the hat, it's understood some horse trading needed to be finalized before the election could go ahead. After a 3-hour delay to the start of proceedings, it only took 10 minutes for Kagaza to emerge as Ekurhuleni's new first citizen. This makes him the third mayor to be elected into office since 2021. Hlagaza, who was previously the MMC for Finance in Ekurhuleni, now has the tough job of bringing stability to the metro amid concerns that the political infighting has slowed service delivery. Nobukhaya Ndambo, Eyewitness News in Ekurhuleni.
The SPCA says it's dealing with an unprecedented influx of animals, not only from people who can no longer keep them, but also from multiple shelters across the Cape Metropole. SPCA spokesperson Belinda Abraham says the situation has become so dire that they now have a designated drop-off bay for vehicles to drop off animals.
By nature of our non-selective open admissions policy and the resultant influx of animals to the SPCA, we are unable to operate responsibly, sustainably or compassionately without a compassionate euthanasia policy.
Abraham says there's a crisis in the animal welfare sector and a responsible and humane euthanasia policy has to be embraced by all animal welfare organizations. And for those celebrating the end of Ramadan, happy Eid al-Fitr from us.
Eyewitness News, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.